so we'll call to order the planning board meeting for the town of West Bath for August. It's August 8th. My name is Darlene, I'm the chair of the board. Everybody would introduce themselves, please.
Jim Williams.
Jerry Mitchell. Jamie Wallace.
All right, we have 4 tonight. So we have a quorum, we only require 3. Are there any amendments to the agenda, gentlemen? I think Carly's got in here election of officers, which is something we said we weren't going to do unless we had all 5, so maybe we see if Gabe shows up.
Yeah, I didn't hear from him.
Okay, I didn't either, so all right, we'll leave it be, and if he comes, then we'll be all set. All right, so no amendments to the agenda. We have an applicant, Mark Jorgensen, new business.
I'm here on behalf of Mark.
Right.
Jason Lang. Yep.
If you'd like to come up.
Sure.
Mr. Lang, and
It looks like everyone got a packet.
These are the deeds.
These are drawn off.
Mark on a chair.
Yes.
Okay, you're gonna share it all. Yeah. Some more stuff.
Right, and then Don's fire chief sign off is here.
Okay, I'll take that. I use this one as, I have a copy. Did any of you have like the original?
Somebody
Like,
should
do you have the
This is a
original?
copy. Yeah, double check.
It doesn't matter, just get I do the original right on, use it as the original.
Here's a copy.
You got a copy?
Somewhere there's a original.
All right,
in there.
no problem.
I think was it 8 copies that I brought?
Yeah, there's-
It's all right, we can read it, it's fine.
There was an original one, I usually put them on the top packet, with the original.
I
Don't
think
know
it's,
where that was now.
I think it's okay either way. So it's easily read. All right, so, Mr. Lang, you've got a letter here from Mr. Jorgensen.
Yep.
Says you can speak on his behalf, that's great. And then these are new deeds. This is the driveway.
This is a driveway widening, which was approved by DOT.
Okay,
I just submitted that. That came in on July 31st.
okay,
So the plan is on the 263, 269 State Road, we purchased that property to move Jorgensen Landscaping there from, we're currently located in Rousehead. I am in the process of purchasing Jorgensen Landscaping from Mark. And in a Rousehead, you can't have a business in town, basically anyway, but if you don't own the property, you cannot.
right.
I live in Georgetown, we have 100 acres there, but the extra 8 miles, we decided it would be better off to just purchase this property as it's zoned commercially and utilize it for our business. So, when the sale is complete, I will end up owning this property also. At this particular moment, Mark is the current.
So these maps,
Yep.
just trying to make sense.
Yeah,
This-
I just included, this was one from David Paquette's former plan.
And then this is
Oh, sorry.
Paquette's deed, not deed, their
Survey.
survey plan. And then,
This
I guess
is a
I'm
plot
looking
plan
for-
that I drew. I drew this plot plan out. Let's see when this was done. We just had it surveyed after we purchased it.
so I
July
guess-
2nd, 2022, right there.
All right, so this is the existing conditions now.
Yep.
And then this one's proposed?
The only thing that's changing is we came in, we're approved for an expansion of the paved driveway last fall. But other than that, nothing's changing on the lot. We don't plan on expanding any buildings, changing anything. We just need approval to move the business there.
So you're saying that this driveway is not correct because you got an approval to expand the driveway last year?
It's right here. No, it hasn't been done yet. The work is not completed yet. So it's going to come from here to there, and this will be filled in with asphalt.
John, what was that?
Oh, I don't know what
Winter
it
time.
was, but they came before the board for the paving.
So I remember when they came before the board when he bought it. to
Right.
see if it- So this was different?
Yeah, and they
When
came
was
another
that?
time.
You weren't, I think you were here.
Okay.
She wasn't, no, she was
Jamie Wolf
here.
was here. I don't, maybe you were here.
Darlene was here,
I don't remember,
I almost feel positive.
because I remember when they came in
Yep,
to see.
Yep. Mark
before
came
he-
in
when he
July because I
bought
had
it.
COVID, so I couldn't be here on that one. That was in July.
Right, to
She
see
was, I think.
what he could do, and then I just said, if you expand the pavement or
Yep.
building, you had to come back.
Yeah, we came in for permit for the approval of the paving.
All right,
Which didn't take but a few minutes. I mean,
Yeah.
it was pretty.
okay, so it was,
So
so
what is it?
it's out
Yep.
over here.
Yeah, so it'll be right there as it's drawn, is what it's going to be.
Okay. Do you have a cabinet?
I do, but I was gonna, he was pointing to.
Oh, yeah, okay.
So this line right here is what the pavement is going to be expanded.
Okay, so you've got two lines, is this one, not that one?
Correct.
So not this one?
Yep.
Alright. New. Is that pavement there now?
Nope. And then they were going to expand the mouth.
So let's see, and this was approved,
Yeah, December, I think.
do you remember the month?
Might have been January, February, I don't remember.
I can look, look in the file.
So let's see, I'm gonna put winter.
Yep.
Of 2023?
Yeah.
Maybe I actually have it. Okay. Alright, just so that we know what we're looking at here.
So-
And this is not something that's here, this is just a.
So you're not doing anything with any buildings? Or Connex boxes?
No, not at this time.
Which tenant is moving out, or both of them?
Both tenants are moving out. Sacred
Okay.
Fire Tattoo has moved out.
Okay,
They have one load to pick up in their vehicle. They've loaded a couple boxes in there. They're moved out. Annabelle from the dance studio will be out, I believe, at the end of September. So what we would like to do is paint, clean up the office, because this is gonna be our office. And then after she moves out, that's when we're gonna move in to that area for our shop. That's probably a couple months. It's not, it's really rid of a lot of stuff. We can just do it.
gotcha,
Quick move.
gotcha, no, understood.
Yep.
Yeah, because that was the stipulation about
Yep,
the
absolutely.
way this
Yep,
was laid
yep,
out,
yep,
and I know
yep,
you weren't here,
Yep.
but,
Yep,
that.
we haven't had any ordinance and anything there.
Yeah,
Yep.
so you are still allowed, like, to this?
Yes,
business?
absolutely, yep. Yep, that's why we thought we could make the move to the office, I just wanted to let you guys know.
Yeah,
Like I said, they moved up, their lease was technically up end of August, but they moved out end of July, basically, so they left a month early.
okay,
So,
all right. So we're looking at no real changes in the site except for a widening of the
The
entrance.
entrance, yep.
And, you just doing interior stuff, you're not,
Nothing, there'll be no expansion, if there is any expansion, whatever the ordinance in West Bath is, whether it's through Jonathan or through the planning board, will be 100% compliant.
yeah, you gotta come back for this, because it's commercial, this is the
Yep,
planning board.
Yep,
As
absolutely.
far as making buildings bigger.
Sure, I don't plan on expanding anything.
Mhm.
This current building has a one bay here. We're probably gonna put another garage door on this side at some point, just to access that one building. But there'd be no expansion whatsoever. And this one, this one, there's really no expansion possibility.
Yeah, 'cause it's
Yeah,
great.
it's literally on the edge of the setback from the center line of that highway. I can't really
Yeah,
thread the needle on that
it
one.
can't go forward anymore,
No,
that's for sure.
exactly.
Do you have anything with November 22nd? I had the,
Oh, November of 22?
Sorry about that. I knew it was winter time.
All right.
no, you know what, I'm mistaken. I could have been October. I have, so I have approval of minutes of September 13th, so it would have been August, if he's on the agenda.
Well,
That's,
but I think that was for the information though.
I think that was the original meeting.
So
We
that's-
I'm pretty sure.
so
it
you
was-
guys meeting after that?
Yeah, we met after
Okay,
that,
so
yeah.
I'll find that, I'll keep digging.
Yeah, the first meeting was,
It wasn't in
can
August.
we get in there, because there was businesses in there. We didn't,
Right.
basically, we didn't want to do the purchase of the property.
Right, unless it was approved, I was,
Or,
right,
not
yep.
necessarily approved, but kind of like, yes.
It'll
go
work.
for it,
So that was discussed in the October
Yep.
meeting.
Right, so
I'll find it
you're
around.
gonna replace the culvert underneath of the drive? and
Yeah, it may, yeah,
to the
it
entrance?
will be an extension of the existing culvert. Crooker just came through there last year, I think, and did
Right.
the whole section there, so we have to, those are the criteria that the state gave us.
Yeah.
So it'll look the same as it does now, with the 3-inch blasted
So you-
extension of the culvert.
Are you opening up just the mouth of it, or the whole
No, just the mouth on the southern side.
downhill side?
Yep, downhill side. Because the way that Paquette put that building in there is so tight.
It's very close, yeah.
Yeah, so we just need to make sure we can get a tractor trailer truck up in there for snow deliveries and things like that.
even the size of 18 inches seems cool, but.
Yeah, that's the existing size that they put in there. And then I don't necessarily know how West Bath's ordinance is as it pertains to separate lots, but at some point I may merge those two lots into one.
You can do that. I forget how many acres is it?
Well, it's like 1.49 total or something along that, 1.52 total.
Okay.
Yeah, because right now, this is kind of the lot here, which I have delineated on this. This is the lot lines. And then this is a big L.
So the rules are for commercial, you need one, the first acre is for your first business.
Yep.
After the first acre, you need a half an acre for a second business.
Okay.
So if you were to merge these with,
Well, there's only ever going to be one business.
I'm just
Oh, yeah,
saying,
yeah.
down the road,
Yep.
if you were to
Oh, I see,
merge,
so like in the future, let's say I moved or wanted to rent it out.
if you were
Okay.
to merge these with
Yeah.
1.52 acres,
Yeah.
you could have two businesses.
Okay.
Because it takes an acre and a half to
Okay.
do two businesses.
So it's kind of, it was, so I guess that's the good
If
question.
you had 1.4 acres, I would
You-
not join them, I
okay.
would leave them
Yeah.
separate, so you can just have your two businesses if you want.
Totally understand. Yep.
This was just-
I understand what you're saying. Yep.
Yeah, okay. That doesn't.
So that's right on the cusp. It's kind of like
Yes.
just on the border.
Uh-huh,
Yeah. Good.
yep.
That made me wonder why that's Buckhead left in this too, originally, hard to say. Why he did a merge there.
Hard to say. Did you guys all see this entrance? All right. Sorry, I got diverted, didn't I? So back to the application, I guess. So, owner's agent, you got your letter. Was there a deed in here?
So the deed, there was a warranty deed, but actually there was a copy of the trustee's deed in here, so I brought the actual deed. You just passed that out, is that correct?
No, I think it's all the way in the back.
Oh, okay.
Is it? Because I saw purchase and sale. which
Yeah,
is-
so that was in here, and we didn't have this deed yet, and then it came in like a week later.
Yeah, I think the purchase and sale is probably all we need.
It is, but this is, I just wanted you to have the actual deed.
Yeah.
And that's the information from
There
the
it is.
prior applications that were submitted.
Bobcat, it's from Bobcat. So that's the original
Oh,
Yep.
that's in the back. Yeah.
to
This is second.
Good mark.
263 State Road LLC.
Right, which is
Mark.
Mark.
Yep.
Okay,
Okay.
so it's really these two. I don't think we need any of these other,
Yeah, that's just fine, that was the original submittal, and it had requested prior permits, so just to be safe, I put in the stuff that was there originally.
I'm gonna ask John, but I think he might be okay with us taking it, we just leave that out. This is the deed when Pocket bought it from the Learys,
Correct.
so I don't know. Maybe we'll pass that in the file. It's not required. Here he comes down. Here he comes. What? All right. John, there's some extra deeds in here, like from O'Leary to Pocket when they bought it. You don't need those. Do you want those in the file?
It's not necessary, no.
Okay.
Darlene, that was November 22nd of '22.
Was it November?
Yeah, on the payment.
All right. Nice job.
But I remember that.
Okay.
I have a white on the wall here from every meeting I get to, so.
She's got some paper over there.
That's to expand the,
That's why.
Okay. And then what else do we got here?
So that's just the photos. Yep.
Got that, and then there's the stuff from the DEP.
Yep.
So who's the owner of the property today?
Mark Jordan.
So who is 263, 269 State Road LLC?
I'm sure it's the company by which he owns it under.
Okay. So is the ownership of the lot changing?
It will be changing when I purchase the company,
Okay.
but not at this moment. We're in the process now, so we're gonna switch ownership January 1st. So
Okay.
as of January 1st.
So this is the current deed?
That's the current deed,
From
absolutely.
Bobcat
Yep.
to
Yep.
263 State Road?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
this is the DEP stuff from the junkyard that was
Yep.
there before Pocket owned it.
Yep.
So
So we do have town water, so we wouldn't do any extraction of groundwater or anything like that.
Alright. Let's see, this is. Entrance widening.
So with the Connex boxes, are those planning board approved also? Like if when we move our stuff over there, we decide to find a location on, because we have two that we ultimately at some point will bring over because of snow services, we kind of keep our salt and our salted sand in those so we can confine them so we don't move it over and off anything like that.
They have to follow the same rules as the
Absolutely.
building,
Yep,
so
absolutely.
setbacks.
Yep, all that stuff, yep. There's plenty of square footage left for coverage, all that stuff, but absolutely, yep.
Yeah, so you're using the existing septic field,
Yep.
you're not really doing anything,
Nope.
adding
No, it'd be-
anything.
Hopefully it'll be less usage than with all the little kids and stuff in there.
Right, are you doing maintenance on vehicles, is there gonna be storage of fuel,
So we-
hazardous stuff?
What we have for fuel is like a diesel, like a fuel oil that you have your heat oil in, so it's a 250 gallon diesel. And then we have gas cans, but those will be in the shop. And then, loam, mulch, maybe some crushed stone, but a little bit of compost.
So you fuel your trucks
At the gas station.
at the gas station, not,
Yeah, that's just off-road diesel, correct. And we don't do oil changes, we do on lawn. We don't do oil changes on trucks, we don't do our own in-house repairs, we use Bill Garage.
okay,
We keep our business to landscaping, not
Right.
repairs and stuff like that.
yeah, some places
Yep.
have
Right, they have their own
Like a
mechanic and all
trash
that,
shop or
absolutely.
something,
Yep, I don't have any plans for that, honestly.
a,
That's like a full-time position.
So ultimately, you're not planning to put two Connex boxes there?
At some point, yep.
Oh, okay.
I think I noted on there the square footage, and if I had the two Connex boxes, the total square footage that we'd still have remaining.
And then I see a shed, number 14.
Possibly that might be brought over for gasoline, stuff like that, but it's just under, it's a small little shed.
yeah, the little hazmat shed.
Yes, absolutely. That is,
I mean,
yeah,
can we approve those tonight, so he doesn't have to come back?
Approve what? Shed?
The Connex boxes in the shed?
I don't think we have to.
yeah, I don't know where the actual location is at this time, so that's why I didn't put it in there.
Okay.
So basically, this lot is the exact size as the acreage we're on now. It's just a little bit different formatted, so we can get in there and see where we have space, because we do have to meet setback requirements.
Okay.
So. And Jonathan and I will meet on the site and go over that stuff at that point.
Oh, sure.
Alright, so total coverage. Did anybody figure out the percentage?
So Jamie, I wasn't doing that,
You weren't doing that, what were you doing?
but I was checking that, I really.
Oh, okay, alright. Let's see, so this says,
I mean, the math looks fine.
so is this total coverage here, is that after you've done improvements?
Yes. Yes, with the asphalt and all that stuff, yes, absolutely.
Alright.
Yeah, because you have the asphalt, existing structures, buildings, gravel area.
It's close to right, I got 1.6 acres instead of 1.52. If you add those two up, his total is remaining.
Yep.
So, I mean, percentage.
Yeah.
Percentages needs to be on here. Did you get it? Jim, is that what you're doing?
I did check some of the numbers, it looks fine.
Yeah, sorry, they did it so long ago, I can't remember.
Why is this coming out really weird? I'm impaired. Came up with 1.6 one time and 0.6 another.
Somewhere between those two.
Oh, man. A long day. $26,000 square feet is not 1.52 acres.
No, 66,000 square feet is.
Right. So the coverage and the remaining is together is not the whole thing. That's what's throwing me. So
Well, you
maybe
have total,
maybe I'm not understanding your numbers, but so total coverage
Yep.
is your buildings and your pavement, and then your remaining square footage is what you're saying you have left out of the 1.5 acres?
No, what I have left for my lot coverage.
On the 5% of the
Yes.
lot.
the 40% one.
Yes.
That's.
Yes, that way you can see
Okay.
that I have that much of that
Yeah,
40%.
yeah,
Sorry about
okay.
that.
That's what's happening.
So he's got 26,000 square feet,
Yeah.
and he's got 14,000 covered now. So that leaves him 12 to go.
Yeah.
And his proposed buildings and so forth, at some point, are only 766 square feet.
Yeah, that would be the Conex boxes when we do that, and the little,
Shed. That's a good idea there.
So you're at 21.5%.
and I don't plan on covering, I plan on basically using what Pocket had in there, cleared out. Obviously, we keep it mowed, keep it maintained and stuff, and some of that we'll cover with the mulch, the mulch pile's gonna go in there, stuff like that. But I don't have any plans for any more non-permeable coverage.
Carl, did you get that 21.5%? Okay, perfect, thank you. Alright. Does anyone else have any concerns, questions?
Well, looks good to me.
Yeah, I mean, this is hand sketched, but he's traced this one, and it's very much the same exact thing. They're all laid out. So you would need to come back to us if you wanted to expand the paving, the buildings, everything that you put in Connex wise is okay.
Okay.
Does not need approval, it has to have the setbacks.
Yep.
Any sheds, John, he has to come to you with sheds even, right?
Yeah, even that, that's fine.
Yeah.
So, yeah, we'll deal with that when we get to moving. Basically, it will just depend on what comes with us after I purchase the company, so we're kind of, because it's a nice little shed, mark up shed. So
Yeah, I mean, a small minimal shed, you're just gonna give him a building permit.
Yeah, pretty
As long as you're sticking to the, and he's gonna go over and check it, and make
Absolutely.
sure that you're not on the neighbor's yard, so
Yep.
we're not worried about that, right? I mean,
Correct.
if you're gonna start building another
No.
enclosure for cover your salt, then that's,
No, it would just, we use the Conex boxes because it's easy to
Yeah.
confine it all, we don't like salt at all. We don't like any of that. We're
no,
concerned about the environmental impact for sure.
it starts killing things.
Absolutely.
Even tough to keep them inside of a Connex box, isn't it? Salt sometimes.
It is, but once you load it in there, you can seal it off, it doesn't get direct rain, it doesn't get runoff, doesn't get erosion, so. Its exposure is limited.
I did take in and out of the Conex box, you go in the end,
Yep, open the doors and we come in with the skid steer.
steer,
Yep,
okay.
yep, load it, and then we scoop it back in and seat and shut the doors. Stuff's too expensive to let run away.
So you buy that in bulk?
We do, we spent last, January, I think we spent 17,000 in salt to buy. That's how bad it was January, February. So it's a commodity that we keep.
So you use that on commercial lots?
Yep.
Okay.
And then we do salted sand on walkways and stuff like that for ice control.
All right. Anything, gentlemen?
Nothing.
Anyone in the gallery have a question or comment?
Motion to approve as presented. I'll second.
All right, the motion's been second. Any further discussion on the motion to approve as presented? All right, take a vote. All those in favor of approving as presented? And you got it, unanimous. All right, I have to fill out a little bit of paperwork here for you.
Great. I just want to say that I'm looking forward to moving to West Mass.
Yeah, that's
good. We've been anxious for quite a while. It's a beautiful spot, and thank you very much.
Yeah.
Thank
Happy
you.
to have you. John's gonna, I have to write this thing out.
Absolutely.
I think John might get a copy and then have to have that probably for you.
I think that's the originals there, right here.
Oh, those?
Yep.
Well, I'll let John figure out how he wants to enable those.
She'll write it out.
Oh, gotcha.
I'll make a copy.
Okay.
Yeah. Let's see.
Chrissy, is that copy of work downstairs?
What's that?
Is that copy of work in that room down there?
No, not yet. That room's cleared out because we haven't laid the carpet yet.
All right. So that's all the stuff we had, is that, and I think Suzanne said the originals probably over there
I
somewhere.
think it's the top set of the originals.
Yeah, that whole pile. All right. Public information and comment. Do we have anyone in the gallery with public information and comment? All right. Hearing none, we'll go to other business. Gabe hasn't arrived. We don't have 5. So in the past, we decided we were gonna wait to elect officials until we had 5 people. Is that still how the board feels?
That's, yeah, I think that's a good idea. It's fine.
Jim?
Fine with that.
Okay, so we will do that later. I had a couple of things. We didn't do the election, no. Where is it? One second. So I think you all received, we've got documents, both the town committee procedures, policy on town committee procedures and conduct guidelines for elected and appointed officials and town staff.
Pardon me real quick, I just want to thank you again. Thank you so
Welcome.
much.
Welcome.
Happy to be
Welcome.
part of our staff. Thank you.
You get your copy?
I did, thank you very much.
So the policy on town committee procedures is new, amended July 6th. And then the conduct guidelines for elected and appointed officials and town town staff was adopted on April 6th. We have to read and sign the conduct guidelines. Did everyone get one?
I did print out hard copies if anyone wants them, and I have just the signature page if anyone wants to sign it tonight.
I'll take just the signature page.
All right. These are each of them, and you can take what you want and pass the rest down.
Jim, do you want either of these?
This is what, yeah, I think we already have this.
Yeah, it's just the signature page if you wanted to sign it.
Okay.
Or there's the other one. Okay. Those, I don't know if we've got the town administrator and the select board member here, if you guys want to say anything about these documents, or? I guess not.
If anybody has any questions or comments about it, we'd be happy to hear.
I have read the last draft, but not this one yet. It has not made it to the top of my list, but I am going to do that soon. So I guess I will reserve my comments for later. My previous comments was just that it didn't seem to address, it was all about one-sided with committee members and how they treat town staff, not really town staff, and how they treat committee members the other way, so that was, I haven't looked at it to see if it's been adjusted at all. The H&C garage, John, did they bring in the deed, the right to title interest?
Yes.
So, yes, okay, perfect. All right, then the, and two more things, so whenever someone comes before us, and what I find is happening is that they come in, they present, and they're talking about all their stuff, and all of a sudden someone says, oh, okay, just full disclosure, that's my neighbor, or full disclosure, I did work for them, or something like that. And so what we're really supposed to do is, before the person starts talking, we're supposed to, hey, this is my neighbor, I don't think that there's any sort of a conflict here, but I just want to make that clear. And according to MMA rules, it's supposed to go into the minutes. And then, so a couple things. First, you're supposed to do it before they start going through their presentation. Because if it is deemed that there is a conflict, you're supposed to recuse yourself. If you don't decide to recuse yourself, and the board deems that it's important and that you need to recuse yourself, then you're supposed to remove yourself and go to the back of the room and not have any more conversation, interaction, or voting on that application. So that's how the MMA lays it out, and if we wait until we're like way into deliberation and conversation about the application, and then all of a sudden, oh, you know, this is my cousin or something like that, it's the wrong time to do it. So I guess I'm just asking if there's something there that you feel you need to say at all, it's fine, just say it first before we get heavy into the discussion of what they're here for, kind of thing. That would be my request. Yeah.
So if you leave and you're recused, you still can communicate as a resident,
Yes.
not as a board member.
Yes. So
You're not eliminated from participating, you're not participating as a board member.
right. I brought the MMA thing. So where is it? Yeah. If after making the disclosure, if the board member wants to participate as a member of the public, he or she should leave his or her place at the decision-making table and take a seat in the audience. So say my husband comes in here with some sort of an application. Obviously, I can't sit up here and talk about it or help. So I would just recuse myself and get up and sit in the back, but I can help him with his presentation, or I can just sit there and say nothing. But I just think it's important that we do it up front before we've gone halfway through the application. Because, you know, we're being watched and you know, we don't want to seem like there's any impropriety. And even when there is no impropriety, waiting until halfway through is not proper. So
like what would the threshold be, like any threshold, like if you make your income off somebody,
for
right?
bias,
Yeah.
it's clearly in the book, actually, the MMA book. And I think there's a bunch of different ones. I didn't bring the whole thing. I did not bring the whole thing. But yeah, if you're to profit from it, if it's a direct relative, it's, shoot, I didn't write it. Did I? No, I didn't bring the whole thing. But there's a whole list. You have your MMA book, right?
Yep.
Yeah, so you should look in that. And a lot of times, it's not a big deal. I mean, every time I think that I've been on this board that anyone said anything, it's been like, well, so he used to be my neighbor. I think you said that one time, like someone used to be your neighbor or something like that, which that
Yeah.
doesn't matter.
Yeah.
You know, it's more if you're gonna be financially gaining from it, or they're a relative or something like that. You know, you can't present, if your neighbor's gonna come in and you're helping them out by presenting for them, you certainly can't be back here. You've gotta go out there. And after that application is done, you can come back and sit at the table. You're not gone for the whole meeting. You don't have to get out. You just have to recuse yourself of that one application.
Is that a line item we want to put on the agenda?
A line item?
That was something I was gonna say. Other committees do have that as an agenda item, like establish quorum, yada yada, and they'll have, I don't know the language, but verification of conflict or,
With any of the applicants or
Yeah.
something on today's
so it
agenda?
could be an
So do
item.
it before anybody comes before us?
I mean, that's an option.
Or just
You could do
before-
it as part of the very application, but, you know, it's easy, I think it might be easy to forget. You know, like with the last application, Jerry did work for the previous owner, and then it came up. And I think, I don't know, like with Jeremy, he does work for so many, it might be
Yeah,
easy to
it's a small
forget.
town. You just.
Right.
If it was an agenda.
But I'm
item,
just saying, if it's an agenda item, then it's checked
Then-
off the list.
Then if it's an agenda item,
Obviously,
then
that's up to the board.
we ask if there's any conflicts and whatever for the MMA standards, and it's yes or no, so it's all out in the open. And it's there in every meeting we have. If it's an
Yeah, I
agenda
mean,
item.
I was hoping we could sort of self-regulate ourselves and just say it
We can do that.
in the beginning and not have to have an agenda item, I mean. But we can do whatever the board wants to do.
I'm not,
I think, I mean, it's just, it's another line, right? Just when you do the introductions, you can do it right after the introductions, right? You don't have any type of conflict with the person.
Yeah, it's a conflict of interest for the application, yeah. So let's see. Maybe.
And so what would the person do, like, so like say I would disclose that I designed a septic for somebody, or that you were paired to do a bunch of work for somebody, right? Like that's
Right.
what you just disclose that in the beginning.
Right, yeah. That's all it would be.
what do you think, Jay? You think it should be an agenda item or yes or no? What do you think?
Doesn't matter to me, I guess it's,
It's not a big deal, I don't care either way.
I don't either.
Do you have a preference?
I don't, I mean, I go either way.
I think it'd just be pretty easy to add another line item. Just
You wanna make it number 4, we'll do it right before the applications themselves,
That's fine. I'm okay with that.
and we'll do that.
Sure.
Alright, and then the last thing that I had before we do the minutes is a reminder that the hearing is coming up on the 28th at 2 o'clock. I think it's a Tuesday. Monday at 2 o'clock. At 1 o'clock is a workshop between town council and the appeals board to help them with process and procedure, because they don't do these all the time. Or it's not very frequent, so. And that's at 1 o'clock, and all of those are open meetings, public meetings that anyone can go to. I'll be coming at 2, if anyone else feels the need to come, that is just fine.
Are those also recorded, like video recorded?
It's a good question, you're gonna video record them and put them on YouTube?
Yep.
Yes.
And I have one other comment when you're done.
I'm done.
Just a reminder, today is the final day to sign up for the MMA Zoom Planning Boards and Appeals workshop, which is a week from tonight. Is anyone interested in that? Before I go on again.
I would be on an in-person one. I think there's one in October
Yeah,
in Augusta,
right,
so I might do that.
Can
okay.
do that one.
And there was, what's the other one on the 14th that I said? I signed up for the one on the 14th.
That's the Jensen Baird. And we have until the end of the month to sign up for that. Is anyone else interested in the Jensen Baird? That's the town attorney is putting on a workshop for clients with new updates.
They had
To
really good
everything.
information last year. I was impressed at what they had for,
And door prize.
but they talk about, they have some very,
The description
Solid
sounded like it
language.
was more for town staff and administrators and select board than it was committees.
but they did, I was impressed with what we walked away with for information for you guys. Not that we couldn't share it after the fact, but I thought it was good information.
Yeah, Jensen Baird specifically invited planning board and board of appeals, so there's definitely information.
Did you share information from it last year?
I think I did.
So when is that again?
The 14th of September.
Yes, thank you, Jerry. I know it was a Thursday for the planning.
Oh, that sounds like a bad
It's in the evening.
day.
So it's Thursday at 5:30.
And that's in South Portland across from the mall.
Familiar.
Right, your cracker.
I'll send a reminder out closer to the end of the month when the deadline looms. Jerry will be for sure attending, so.
They have free
You can
steak dinner too.
It's a good, decent dinner.
Oh, jeez.
No, I'm just joking, I have no idea, it's really good.
It wasn't bad.
Have you ever done the
The
planning
Chinese.
board, the MMA planning board training? No? You've got your book though. Okay. Just asking. Maybe reach out to Gabe, because I don't know if he's been to the MMA one. Yeah. I don't know where he's at with that, but, okay. So when is the deadline to sign up for the Jensen Baird again? Sorry.
The end of the month.
Okay.
Did you send out a notice on that?
I did.
Okay,
I can send out.
Yeah, it's just-
I can find it.
I believe you, Suzanne. I just, when I was reading it, I was like, that just sounds like
They had interesting, I was like, wow, that's an interesting way of thinking about it.
town staff and select, but.
But they had a lot of ordinance language and stuff too.
Yeah.
So I thought it was a good opportunity.
And I'm sure with LD 2007, they'll be covering a lot of that too.
Probably.
Refresh my memory on LD 2007.
It's a 2003 or 2007.
Yeah, LD 1983 or something. Now that's the housing,
Okay,
allowing the accessory.
Accessory dwellings.
okay.
It's 2003, and then they made an amendment which has a different number, which I don't
Yeah.
know what it is.
Okay.
The housing expansion, but now it's
Right.
been postponed to next July. Like a shiny new land use ordinance, but-
Yeah.
Which will be here very quickly.
Any other business anyone has?
Guys, the town attorney weighed in, Christine, on the whole appeals thing as far as that's an allowed use, you know?
We're not getting any answers until the hearing. We were asked not to speak to the town attorney about it until the hearing.
Right, I don't even know, I'm not involved in
Were
it.
you asking about 2003?
No,
Oh, okay.
no, I'm asking about the appeals
Oh, okay.
thing.
For whether the parking lot is an allowed use on there, on that lot. So it was halted because of the hearing, we were asked not to speak to legal, so we don't know.
That's kind of,
It's for the appeals board to decide.
if that's part of it, if that's not for the town attorney to decide that.
Correct.
So the town attorney has nothing to do with it.
If the hearing had not, if the appeal had not been put in, I'm sure we could have then gotten a decision from the attorney. However, this is
Exactly.
where we're at.
Yes.
So Suzanne had gone and asked, and was kind of playing phone tag, and then there was the
Was a
lawyer,
conflict
there
of
was a lawyer conflict of interest because of
the
lawyers.
person joining Jensen
And
Baird.
then the appeal came in, so that's why we don't have an answer. We tried to get an answer and haven't had an answer. But these guys were nice enough to provide the original permit for the lot, where it was permitted as a parking lot and storage area. So, I don't know. We'll see. We'll see.
So,
Any,
I guess I don't understand what's being appealed. I thought the decision of the planning board is what was being appealed.
yes,
Okay.
and they're also asking for, full approval. Did you read did you?
Well, I thought they
get the
asked
book?
that it be remanded back to the planning board.
No, did you read the?
Yeah, I did.
No, they've got 3 different points. One, that we didn't follow process. The second one was very close to that we didn't follow process. And the third one was that there was bias and that people should be recused and that they should get approval.
So this was, what we were voting on was preliminary approval,
Yes,
not final approval.
correct.
So they're appealing the preliminary approval, or they're approving, I mean, they're going right for the
Yes,
final approval through the zoning board of
I
appeals.
think that's the way I read it. I'm not sure. We'll find out on the
Uh.
28th.
Yeah. Okay.
That's what it sounded like. But we didn't get all of the information required in the first place, so it really can't go to final. Without,
I wouldn't think so.
well, there's the lighting, there's the elevation of the building that we still don't have, so, I don't know, we'll
And the
see.
plan was incomplete.
We'll see.
Hmm.
So, anything else? We'll move on to the minutes. Alright. Anyone have any comments on the minutes?
I just have one small minor thing.
Sure.
It's listed as staff twice up top. It says
Oh,
staff
yeah.
public.
Thank you.
Yep.
Wow. Good catch, I didn't even see that, I wasn't looking.
Contributed to that.
I wasn't looking for the easy stuff, I guess. Star. Nice job. Anybody else?
Looks good to me.
Carly, I had some stuff on the second to last paragraph on the first page. Okay. It just was confusing when we were here about the trailers and the non-trailers and the lot and everything. I sort of just reworded that sentence, so it's, Ms. Esper explained that 1 acre is required for a commercial business, however, cross out because, however, the existing lot 11, so we know what lot it is, and building, and I can give you a copy of this too if you want, and then on 0.69 acres are considered, and cross out is grandfathered, it is, so the 6.9 acres are considered a legal non-conforming lot, period. Sally does not like the word grandfather, usually. So we sort of try to just redo. And then right after that sentence, I think it's important to talk about that mobile home. So the existing mobile home located on lot 11 must be removed, and Mr. Sewell stated that it will be, because it had that mobile home on that same lot. And then after that, I took out, as the property is 0.69 acres behind it. And I stuck a 0 in front of the 0.69, just because it's easier to read.
Did you, okay, you're gonna give me a copy of this?
I am, yeah. And then this paragraph after that, like the last sentence, the garage occupies 15% of the lot and that the parking lot will be paved. The parking lot will remain the same size but be paved. Okay, so it's not getting any bigger. Next page, the second line down, so it's not really lighting, is not permitted, it's light.
Okay.
Light rays, I don't know how you, it's, you know what I mean? It sounded like you meant like when you read it that way, it sounds almost like a light pole,
Okay.
and it's just the light. We call that, not light noise, but light.
There's lumens.
Yeah, I know, what's the
Foot candles.
what's the best way that,
Uh,
I was struggling for a better word. So that it was like the physical light, not a light. Is it light pollution?
yeah, lights, over, it's, yeah,
Yeah, see,
it's not really,
projection. Yeah, I like that, light projection.
it's basically lumens can't leave the property line. It's just
Right,
zero
but
lumens.
some people don't know what lumens are. Okay. Anyway, sorry. Second paragraph underneath the public information and comment. So you got Mrs. Nelson observed that campgrounds are not an allowed use. Should it be stated?
Okay.
I don't know how you, okay. And then, third paragraph underneath there, town administrator Christine Pullen agreed to reach out to the town attorney for clarification if a campground falls under a recreation area. It just didn't say in the paragraph what the clarification was about. Guys, stop me if you disagree with any of these. And then Ms. Estabrook cited the, and I added recreation definition in D, so it didn't say what I was looking at. In recreational use statute, and agreed that the town should ask the attorney for a clarification. And then the other thing you had in here, she then stated that any changes to the land use ordinance must be approved by town meeting and on and on. I just stuck in front of that, the Nelsons asked for a change to the use table to not allow campgrounds.
Okay.
So that we know why I was saying that we can't change the stuff. And then the very last one, Ms. Pullen stated that a meeting could potentially be held in September, but could be addressed at a later date. So the meeting held in September and add for comp plan approval, because I think that's what you were talking about, right? Comp plan approval meeting in September?
Not specifically, and we're not gonna make it September deadline for comp plan anyway.
Okay, because you guys were talking about, there was a meeting coming up, so an ordinance
Yeah,
should be
somebody
put
said-
into it, so.
Somebody mentioned, can it happen in September, and I think I just said yes. Potentially it could.
Okay, so, right, because I thought it was connected to the comp plan approvals. I don't know, do what you want with that. That's how I remembered it, but just to give a little bit more context. That's it. Anything else?
Nope, I'm good.
Yeah. Motion to approve minutes as amended.
Second.
Further discussion? All those in favor? And,
Perhaps this is out of order, but has there been any movement on that question about the parks and campgrounds and so forth?
It was discussed at the select board meeting.
yes, and how did that go?
They still have a concern, and they need to see if they have enough people to share that concern, potentially with a petition.
Oh, okay.
The town attorney did look at it and agree that the language is
Vague.
vague and that it would be
Yeah.
up to the planning board's interpretation.
She basically said the exact same thing that we did, town
Okay.
attorney.
Okay.
So the Nelsons went to the selectmen as we suggested that they do because it's gonna be an ordinance change. And I think it was decided that they would need a petition to do something like that. I think they're looking to have campgrounds stricken from the whole town.
How many people are they asking for on the petition?
Well, I don't, did they come for an application for petition?
No, they talked to me about it, and it's 10% of the last gubernatorial election, so I think it's about 130 signatures that they would need to compel the select board to hold a meeting, but the select board can choose to have a special town meeting, or they can choose to put it on the warrant at the next town meeting. So that doesn't necessarily expedite it, but it does bring it to the table.
Because the ordinance change is probably gonna take a year or more to complete. And I think they're looking for a shorter time frame to have it made officially interpreted and waiting.
And you're
So
still
when we get
reviewing the
to it.
moratorium.
Yes.
They
What was
proposed putting the, Nelson's proposed asking the select board to have a moratorium,
Until we can.
which they may or may not, the select board may or may not be able to do a moratorium on campgrounds until
I'm
the
waiting
land use
for,
ordinance is changed.
yeah, I'm waiting for Sally to return from vacation to get her interpretation of the moratoria statute. It
Right.
may be allowed, but I'm not sure.
I know that when the tank farm behind the gas station came in, there was a moratorium for that, and that got held, that got put on hold, because the ordinance had zero way to put any sort of restrictions or protections for how it was built and designed. So I think,
Do you remember what year that was?
It was recent.
no, that was
06, maybe?
like 20, yeah, it was almost 20 years ago.
I thought it was like
You'd have to look that up, that was a while
It was a
ago.
long time ago.
Well, I'm sure something's in their file.
Oh, yeah, it's there.
Yeah, but I do remember there was a moratorium.
I think, the
Yeah,
concern is they
so-
didn't wanna wait till the ordinances were fully completed. Because if a contract comes in tomorrow for that purchase, then it's too late, kind of thing. So we're trying to figure out how to figure out.
We've done other changes to the ordinance and it's,
Well, we could, and in theory, we could have a town meeting tomorrow if that's something that, but, which is really what the petition is then to
Right.
confirm.
right, that that's what the town really wants.
So, I mean, it's just, so yeah, it's hard to determine one way or the other what that is supposed to read.
Right, it's not specific, and I think it's made to be overreaching, because really, if you look that up, that just means that you can hunt and fish and hike and bike and do all those kind of things. It's just not specific on whether it means campground or not.
Well, and if you make $1, is that considered commercial? And then it's not allowed. So I don't know, what is the interpretation of it? If you sell a campground or rent a campground
Right.
and make money, does that turn it into a commercial application?
Yeah, so, but town council's answer that Carly emailed out to us was nice, was pretty much just exactly what we told the Nelsons that night, so we weren't far off. Anything else? Motion to adjourn,
Second.
all's in favor?
I had quite the short meeting.
More comment?
Final fairness.